Live? We're live? We're live. What is up? This is In My Circle. I feel like I've been on vacation for about a month. Yeah, it's been about a month the last show, I think. Close to a month. Could have been longer, could be more. And yeah, you read it right. Do we have a constitutional crisis? Well, in the last, 100 days or so, with the new presidency, deportations came as he said they would happen. But there's three particular individuals who were, the two have, two similar cases. They were protesting peacefully. I will remind you that is still part of your constitutional rights. And as I believe these two were green card holders or citizens already. They weren't naturalized born citizens or anything natural. They weren't citizens, they weren't US citizens, born US citizens. They were Palestinian and they were protesting what's going on in Gaza and Israel. And by me speaking of this is not, what people misunderstand is when people protest against Israel, it's not protesting against Israel because you want to see the destruction and terror for Israel. No, you want to see men, that are not criminals, that are just fathers. You want to see women that are mothers and sisters. Not everybody is Hamas. Not everybody's a criminal. And you want to see the brighter side of this destruction, that babies don't deserve to die. So this is what these protesters were protesting. The atrocities, the crimes against humanity and stuff like that. It is free speech, and I don't particularly know the whole entire story. I just know that they were protesting peacefully. Mahmoud Khalil is, a husband, peaceful guy. People who he was at, his university, they loved him. He was loved. He wasn't terrorizing anyone. He was essentially just exercising his disagreement with what is happening in the world. And they're looking at it as he is a terrorist because he is speaking for his people. And when I say speaking for his people, he's speaking for Palestinians. He's not speaking for, Hamas. And this is what is happening. Anybody that raises the Palestinian flag is considered a terrorist. What if I was Palestinian raising the flag? Does that make me a criminal? Should I be canceled? I don't think anybody should be canceled because they want to see their people live in peace, and they want to see their people live. It's not it's just a misunderstanding, and these people need the due process. There's people, these people. I'm not saying these people in a racist, derogatory way. I'm saying these three, in my opinion, are three political prisoners. Mahmoud Khalil, Ramesia Ozturk, and Kilmar Garcia. The story with Kilmar Garcia was during Trump's first term. Trump's administration tried to deport Kilmar Garcia, and they were, they went to court, federal court, whatever, immigration court, whatever, and it was ruled in Kilmar's favor. And they offered the administration, whoever was running that particular, you know, representative, they were asked if they want to appeal the decision, and they failed. They said, no, we're not going to pursue this case anymore. You know, the government is hell-bent saying that that he is a criminal, while his family says he isn't. They're saying that he applied for asylum, and they sent him back because they say MS-13 no longer exists in El Salvador. That's great. That's amazing that, you can send somebody back. That's great. I think that's great. I think it's great that we can deport anybody we want. I think it's amazing. I think that it follows law. But when you are snatching somebody off the street without even committing a crime, and you are condemning them to a El Salvador prison without due process, this is where you violate constitutional rights. Constitution says individual, doesn't say citizen. Individual within our territory. Means he is due his due process. He hasn't seen his family, lawyers. A senator, if I'm not mistaken, went to go see him. They propped up, drinks there to make him look like they were drinking alcohol. They made it seem like he was on a vacation. And the thing is, why are we sending our criminals, why are we giving other countries our criminals now, What I'm saying is that, the Trump administration, or Trump himself, mentioned that he would like to send homegrowns to these El Salvador, the CCOT, these types of prisons, that he mentioned to Bukele that he might have to build 5 more prisons because he wants to send more. I mean, how the hell can you be born in America, commit a crime, and just because they don't like you because of the color of the skin, they want to send you to another state or another country? You may not even be, you might be foreign to that country. You might not even be a citizen of that country. They just want to house you there for as long and forever. They just want to wash their hands with you. That's not liberty. It's not liberty and justice. Right? Remember that? Liberty and justice for all. Right? Remember that? Well, that's not liberty. So much that the French government has asked for the Statue of Liberty returned. They said, we want our statue back because we feel that America no longer stands for the liberty which it portrays. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And then the other day, Trump met with Prime Minister Meloni, the Italian premier, right? Prime Minister. And immediately she said, this was on April 17th, and then she said that we are living in the times of a woke time where we are trying to erase Columbus, the history of Columbus, Cristoforo Colon. And I'm not trying to jump on this, the last topic was Christopher Columbus. I'm just trying to refocus back, to what was said. Nobody's trying to erase the history. Can't erase the history. I'm going to say this again. The archives of history, his mark, he left it on the world. Woke doesn't necessarily mean you're trying to erase history. And woke is just a label because you're trying to fix things. I don't mind them leaving the statue up. I don't mind leaving the history about him up and propping him up. I just want to insert the truth of what he did while he was discovering new lands. I mean, the guy never even discovered America, but people are led to believe that he discovered America. And again, I'm not re-going back into that topic. I'm just talking about what was said in recent. This was just a couple days ago. So it's just what's going on is a lot of misinformation coming from, the the Oval Office, when it's actual news and information, they say, "Oh, it's fake news. Don't listen to the media." But I mean, how can you listen, say, "Hey, it's fake news"? How can you ignore the fact that the Department of Defense is texting out military plans? Like, what the hell? So that's a violation of our constitutional rights, right there. Our violation of the Constitution, violation of the Constitution. With freedom of speech, due process, the Social Security scandal, the Elon Musk scandal, the Tesla scandal, Stindlegate 1 and 2, like the Pentagon. I heard the Pentagon is running like a fucking circus. Excuse my French, I'm sorry. But they said it's like a circus up in there. It's sad. These are the people we depend on to make sure that nobody's drunk enough to push the button. I mean, I'm just saying, if you know the button is, that releases all the atomic bombs. Doomsday. The Doomsday button. Yeah, I'm drinking Canada Dry. I said it. The best ginger ale in the world is Canada Dry. I don't even know why we're treating them like crap. Listen, they hate us. I don't hate y'all. They hate us because of our government and our governmental blunders and their remarks of taking Canada. Back to our constitutional crisis. When planes are in the sky and planes are flying to different countries with planes of immigrants being shipped back or wherever their destinations are. When a Supreme or a federal court judge says, turn around by court order, and you say, well, the planes are in international waters now. We're not telling them to come back. They blatantly, literally ignored a federal judge's order. And now, what people misunderstand is that the executive branch has no power over the judicial branch, and the legislative branch has no power over the legislative, right? The judicial and the executive. There's three branches of power: legislative, judicial, and executive. The way our forefathers, our founding fathers, created this, it is so the power doesn't overlap and one becomes supreme and absolute total power. It's broken up, divided. It's meant to keep a balance. The executive branch doesn't have absolute power. And when I say this is because anybody that speaks out against, anything that the narrative doesn't find to fit their schedule or their picture of what they want to paint, like the judge does, Judge Rosenberg, right? They want him out of the picture. They want to have him fired. I'm sorry, but you can't fire a judge. You can't fire them. Judges they hold absolute judicial power over the law, the rule of law. Meaning if they bring up charges against Trump, charges against anybody in the administration, that's it. They got to follow that. If not, if you fail that, the military is going to come and arrest you. This is the constitutional crisis. Any lawyer that doesn't fit their narrative, they're trying to come after, disbar them, arrest them. Another thing. they're also talking about, they told Colombia, you can no longer, have these, teach these DEI or indifferent, academic things, or they they essentially want, you know, the colleges to teach what they want to teach, meaning they're giving them millions and billions in grant money and research money that they feel that they hold the wand and say, you now have to teach what we want you to teach. We want you to teach conservative values. We want you to teach moral values. We want to take out this and that. If you notice, they're erasing the history, from certain websites. They're erasing minority history from the face of America. And some people say, hey, it's a good thing. Some people say, hey, it's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing because you're erasing the fabric of who put anything where. You're erasing the fact that you're erasing stamps. You're erasing the marks that people left before us. And they should be honored. Whether they're black, white, green, whatever they are, they should be honored. If they contributed to this United States, what we call this, if they contributed 10%, 1%, whatever they contributed, they should be honored. They also went after Harvard, and Harvard gave them the middle finger, said, we're going to continue to do what we want to do. Hey, you don't want to give us money? Unfortunately, we can't work on cancer research. We can't work on environmental research, things, deadly viruses and stuff like that. We depend on our prestigious colleges to usher in new treatments, new ways to combat this. They are our I guess they're our think tanks. We pay them to be our think tanks, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but I also don't think we should tell these colleges what to do. And if you're giving them money, you're giving them something to research on that topic, not just because you give them $5 billion to research cancer or research different viruses, different environmental let's just say it doesn't give you the necessary will to say, well, you can't teach this or you can't teach that. You can't teach diversity, you can't teach to different genders or stuff. I'm just using that as an example, because we know the first 100 days, remember, we have 4 years of this shit. So people are navigating. I mean, the stock market is a roller coaster. His first term in the stock market, he played the stock market right. Well, now you're doing market manipulation, telling people buy, and the stock market is going crazy. It's a no-no. It's a complete no-no. It's market manipulation. That's what Martha Stewart went to prison for. Oh no, he's the president. He can do whatever he wants. You can't do that. You can't. And listen, I'm not trying to sit here and shit on what he is doing as a person. I'm looking at the administration as a whole doing what they're doing. It's like, I can't compare him to Hitler, because Hitler was an evil person, an evil man. You can't take nothing. Trump hasn't done anything, but Trump is showing the telltale things, going after universities, trying to erase history, trying to, do the the deportations, blaming on different minority groups. It's a reminder of history we don't want repeated. and I'm not, and you know, he is nowhere near what Hitler was. I'm just saying that he draws comparisons, and they're close. They're wildly close comparisons, right? And like I said, I'm not trying to shit on, Trump and what he's doing. I'm just trying to talk about what the circus is, what kind of show the circus is having. That's the best way to put it. What kind of show the circus is having? What kind of, so much that even, my prayers go out to the Pope. He was my Pope. I consider him my Pope. A Latin Pope. He was very humble, very, very easy, very, very, very just a great man. He even criticized Trump. He kind of snubbed Vance in a way. He did give him some chocolates for his kids. But shortly after, the visit with Vance, I don't know how shortly after, but Vance was one of the last, individuals, of America to see him alive. So, social media, everything, media, everything, TV shows. There's jokes, well, can he meet my mother-in-law? And there's jokes that, Trump criticized Trump, and he Trump sent his assistant, and now he's gone. It's crazy that we have society, how they paint pictures of people. I'm just, this is not just a newsletter. This is a conversation about what's going on. Because I haven't seen you all in a month. The last one was about Columbus, and this one is about our constitutional crisis. I'm a proud American, patriot. I follow, I give back to my community. I vote. I help in political processes. I try to make my community better. All I want, if you're president, all I want is the job to be done. That's it. And if you're not doing the job, I'm gonna criticize you. Listen, I believe you got a massive following that just believe whatever the hell you want to believe. That is great, fine, and dandy. But give the individuals their due process. Okay? Give veterans their respect. There's some veterans that committed crimes, where there's veterans that, have been deported, wrongfully deported. I mean, come on. We should not be doing stuff like this. We are the land of the free, remember? Land of the free, land of opportunity. Why the hell is the land of the free becoming the land of the incarcerated, the land of the snatched up, the land of the arrested, Why do we have to be the land of oppression? We're the land of the free, land of opportunity. Let's not be the land of oppression. Let's be united. We're supposed to be united. Let's live up to our name. And listen, and you don't have to be Democrat, you don't have to be independent or Republican to understand the shit that I'm telling here. This stuff that I'm saying here. It's real. At the end of the day, it don't matter political power of who or what is running, what party is in or what party's out. You're still American. If you're living here and you're born here, whatever, right? You're a citizen. You were born here. You're still American. They can erase the Republican Party today. You still wake up. You're still American, right? Take away the Democrats. you're still American. The independents, you're still American. You know, we still have to follow the social norms and the political laws and the laws of the Constitution. That's my opinion. You know, having a constitutional crisis, it's a crisis. We need to fix it, and we need to fix it fast. Listen, if you like what I'm talking about, please like, comment, subscribe. Help me get to 50 subscribers. I'm at 40 right now, and you know I'm gonna start having a contest, and you know I'll pay you myself or give somebody something myself. But like I said, like, subscribe, and comment. Help my channel grow. You know, the more comments you give me, the better topics I'll be able to give you. And this is In My Circle. I'm Ralph, also known as DJ Noise, Ralphie Rotten, and we're out tonight. And peace.